The global spotlight has turned to Belém in Brazil as the crucial COP30 climate summit opens its doors. Set against the backdrop of the Amazon rainforest, world leaders urged decisive action to combat climate change. Now, the COP30 president, André Correa do Logo, and Brazil's president, Lula da Silva, hosted the opening in the Amazonian city of Belém. Representatives from over 190 countries are in attendance, according to reports. Instead of landing a new major climate deal, Brazil is banking on an action agenda at the UN's COP30 conference to spur nations and businesses to deliver on existing commitments. Among those countries who have skipped COP30 is the United States, the world's largest historic carbon polluter. Brazilian President Lula da Silva urging world leaders to defeat climate deniers and take action against global warming.
Climate change is no longer a threat of the future. It is a tragedy of the present. Hurricane Melissa, which battered the Caribbean, and the tornado that struck the state of Paraná in southern Brazil, left fatalities and a trail of destruction. From droughts and wildfires in Africa and Europe to floods in South America and Southeast Asia, the rise in global temperatures spreads pain and suffering, especially among the most vulnerable populations. It's time to inflict another defeat on the deniers.
Brazilian President Lula da Silva also slammed money spent on making wars than tackling climate crisis.
If the men who make war were here at this COP, they would realize that it's much cheaper to put $1.3 trillion towards solving the climate crisis than to spend $2.7 trillion on war, as they did last year.
Opening the COP30 climate conference, UN Climate Executive Secretary Simon Stiell announced that global efforts are now bending the curve of planet heating emissions downwards.
The good news is we're not starting from nothing. The Paris Agreement is delivering real progress. We're now bending the curve of planet heating emissions downwards for the very first time. The new NDCs, including many received in recent days, will reduce emissions by 12% in 2035.
Demonstrators in Belém gathered outside the agri-zone, a dedicated agriculture zone at COP30. They protested against the industrial agriculture's impact on indigenous lands and shared stories of its effects on their homes and communities. Activists in Belém, Brazil, are taking a creative approach to urge rich polluters to take responsibility for the climate crisis on the first day of COP30. A projected message on a building showed a globe being buried by sand in an hourglass, accompanied by a street performance with a fake cobra, referencing the alliance of people for the climate's slogan, "We Change."